Alright, so these ones, if we're just adding, for example, 1 plus 2 all the way to 24, we could just add it all up, or we could use our sum formula. It's obviously an arithmetic series with a common difference of 1 and a first term of 1 and a last term of 24. So using this formula, we could say, all right, I want to sum to 24, so I've got 24 on 2, which is 12. Our first term is 1, our last term is 24. So you can see we've got 12 lots of 25s for that one, which is 300. So we know that's 300. Do that for a second. All right, so if we look at the second one, it's a show that, but we can do the same thing here because this series, if you just look at the top, it's got 1 plus 2 plus all the way to n. So there's n terms. So we are summing n terms. So we know we've got n on, or if it's arithmetic, which it is, we have n on 2 and the first term and the last term. Let's just check it's arithmetic. So what are we adding each time? So 1 on n to get to 2 on n. If I do 2 on n minus 1 on n, I get 1 on n. So the common difference is 1 on n here. So it is an arithmetic series. So we have 1 on n, the first term, plus the last term. And if we make that have a common denominator, we've got 1 plus n, and look at that, the n's cancel. So we do get n plus 1 on 2, which is what we wanted. So that all works nicely. Oops, sorry. Get rid of that. So we have some room because the answer's here anyway. Okay, so then if we want to sum the first 300 terms of this, sequence here that we're not really sure about, let's have a look. We're definitely using something we did above because it's a hence. And if I have a look at it like this, if I put brackets around that one and brackets around those 3 and brackets around those 4, so basically if we sub into here, into this series here, if I subbed in 1, my last term would be 1 on 1, which is also my first term. So it's this when I sub in 1. So when I sub in 1, I get 1. So that's still 1. Okay. Now when I sub in 2 to this over here, you'll see I get 1 on 2 plus 2 on 2. So if I go to the right hand side here and put 2 in, I get 2 plus 1. I'll write it down, 2 plus 1 on 2. For this one here, the same thing happens when I sub in 3 up here. I get 1 on 3 plus 2 on 3 plus 3 on 3. If I look at the right hand side there, I've got 3 plus 1 on 2, and etc. So you get 4 plus 1 on 2. So we're using the B part here, and then we're going on forever here, to just write it in a different way. If I do look at this, you can see it does say, here it goes, it says the first 300 terms here. So what's that got to do with anything? We did have a look here, and we've got the sum of 1 to 24 is 300. Where does that come in handy? So here I've got, if I am summing for 300 terms, that means that because I was subbing in to here a 1 and a 2 and a 3, etc. So if I sub in up to 24, I'm going to get 300 terms. So that tells me that this, if they say I want the first 300 terms, this one has 300 terms, then this one must have 24 terms. And when I'm saying that, I'm really looking at, just write it there. All right. So if that's the case, the last term I can see would be, if I put the 24th term in, I'm subbing in 24. So it's going to be 24 plus 1 on 2 if I sub the 24th into there. So then you can do, all right, so I know I want 24 terms. I've got 24 on 2. If I look at each of these, what am I going up by? I'm going up by a half again. So I'm adding a half to get 3 on 2, I'm adding a half to get 4 on 2, I'm adding a half to get 5 on 2. So, but I don't really need that, I just need to know it's arithmetic. The first term is 1, the last term is 25 on 2. And if I want, I can actually make the 1 2 on 2 to make it easier. So yes, this is 12, and this would be 27 on 2. So I've got 627, so I've got 162. That's my answer.